Just ignore me for a second. Oh, it's peaked my mic big time. Sorry. Happy Friday, everybody. Wow. Oh, give me a second. No, I won't. Ignore me. Let me fix some things really quick. I need to upgrade my webcam. I'm just gonna be honest. This drives me completely bonkers. I saw you do it, and you know I did. I was just like trying to adjust the hoodie and stuff. But good to see you, Onion and Frightful. Happy Friday. A little late stream today because of anyone who's a parent, or just anyone that knows someone that has small children. I was wearing our 11-month-old for my wife while she did homeschool, and he fell asleep like just before the stream. So I was like, yeah, this isn't happening. I would have to push the stream out, but that's okay. I mean, life happens, right? But I hope you're all doing well. We had I think a solid stream on Wednesday where we started discussing this article from Jason Arbon about it's a quick start guide to get started with AI for software testers. We didn't get to finish it because I yapped as usual. The yapitude was off the hook, so didn't get to finish it. Is a good priority in life? Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I'm not just saying this. You just can't understand the difference in your life when you have kids. How everything changes. Like everything changes, and your perspective on the world changes. Your values change. Like everything changes, and no one can explain it to you. And then you have more of them and more of the children. Just you keep discovering new things. It's like each kid is different. Each kid is completely different. They're like completely different people, and they're little like versions of you and your spouse. It's like remixes. It's like genetic remixes of you and your spouse. And it's really interesting to see the things about yourself in them and then see things about your spouse. Like, wait, this is something, I'm always thinking like, this is something their mother does, or no, this is something I do. Or they learned this from me. That's the scariest part. The idea that they like, they'll learn things from you. They're like these little sociopathic sponges. And they're supposed to be little sociopaths. That's part of the whole deal, right? Is that you're teaching these little tiny well-adjusted sociopaths. Like slowly you're rehabilitating them. Okay, stop being a sociopath. Here's how you're supposed to actually act in the world. I don't have kids, but I was playing dad for 3 years since birth for someone. Oh gosh, wow, in the past that little person changed my life for good. That's awesome. Yeah, it is. It changes. Like I honestly I want to avoid being political, but this idea that I think when your worldview changes, it really changes like your values and your beliefs about things. It really can. Like what you value changes, in my opinion, and at least it did for me. The values changed a lot. So I'm sure you can understand, just like what you valued completely changes. So yeah, we were discussing as I completely sidetracked us. We were talking about this article from Jason Arbon. Those that don't know about Jason is one of the more prolific people in the field of AI, Gen AI and software testing. He has a company called Testers.ai. He also had Checky. I don't know if Checky has gone away or if they've merged. I know he's talked about it before on Joe Calantonio's podcast. Plug for both of those. If you are in software testing or interested or adjacent to software testing, go check out Joe Calantonio's podcast. If you look him up, he has a lot of great guests, including Jason. I mean, he's had like the GOAT. He's had so many good people on there. Well worth your time just to stay up to date on what's new, on new approaches, discussion around software testing. And then Jason as well. Check out Testers.ai, completely free testing agents. You can try it yourself. Just be careful about what you pointed at. Don't point it at proprietary things just yet, I think. Or be smart and be cautious. That would be with any of these type of tools. But we kind of got into this on Wednesday. But we'll go down here. Oh, did I knock the? Hold on. I'm in the wrong one. Here we go. Completely different. Nice. You're looking at AI agents and rags yourself. Yeah, I think the discussion on Wednesday is kind of like, to fast track this. Number one, to get back to where we left off. Starting now is the key. So I think that's great that you're getting started, Onion. You can get started pretty much for free, at least regards to software testing. I think also in software engineering, when it comes to additional applications, you're gonna have to spend some monies. But you can get started very, very cheaply, a very low point of entry. Hold on. Blowing out a candle. It was like already kind of warm in here, and then the candle felt like it was creating additional heat. It was like, oh gosh. Anyways, it's something we had kind of talked about on Wednesday. If you can't figure out how ChatGPT can help with your work as a tester, and I think an engineer in general, you likely haven't tried hard enough, and I agree. And you may be resisting as a defense mechanism, which was both me. Some quick things to brush across. The best time to plant a tree was 40 years ago. Second best time is today. Yeah. Get started as soon as you can. Yeah, important thing. Remember, everyone, share context. Just really, I think what the conclusion I kind of came upon on Wednesday is that this role, and I believe that Jason also shares this opinion, the role of a tester is not going away. It's the responsibilities are shifting as more things get obfuscated out there, more menial, and the ability to properly manage agents is going to be more important. So me having been a QA manager before, and just a manager in general, I've done a lot of retail management before I got sick of doing it. I was like, I need to go back to school. This is like, I mean, it's not great because some of these jobs are going to go away, but that means that people are going to have to build their management skills and their Gen AI management skills, as in knowing how to fine tune and work with generative AI properly. Because it's really going to come down to this management or Oracle-like position where you're the Oracle for the work coming from these agents, including the stuff that's being developed. Because it could be this dystopian world where it's just you as an Oracle. And then you've got these testing agents and these development agents, and you're like the last stop to make sure it's safe, make sure it's aligned with the wishes of the company. We're not there yet, thank goodness. But I think this is going to slowly grow where you're going to have the ability to manage these systems. So just like when you manage a person, give them all the context they need to succeed. Your job is to help the people who report to you succeed. It's going to be the same way. How do you help these agents succeed? Because the agents succeeding and the task you give them is you succeeding. So give them context. Don't assume they can read your mind. And I kind of agree. Yeah, here's another one. It's a chatbot. You're just sitting in the temple trying to hold your Zen. You have now become the interface to AI. You're like Neo in the Matrix. Or what's a more modern version of that, since the Matrix might be getting out of it's leaving like the pop culture interface or pop culture zeitgeist or whatever. Yeah, I agree here with Jason. Chat with it. Again, we're just kind of quickly reviewing the things we already talked about Wednesday, so we can get to new stuff. Truth and accuracy. I kind of partially agree with this. I think hallucinations are still a real problem with the truthiness and accuracy. Many testers worry about AI output accuracy due to stories about hallucination. Testing questions are straightforward. Yes and no. But true, again, provide clear instructions and you'll get garbage in, garbage out most of the time. I have had hallucinations. I told my story on Wednesday about this, where I asked it to generate a study guide for ISTQB foundation level, and it like hallucinated extra chapters and then left out chapters that exist. So yeah, your mileage may vary there. Be careful. Speed and efficiency. I want to know where these statistics come from, but AI is 100 times faster than manual work and 100 times more cost effective than human effort. I think Adam Learns Alive fantastic game dev channel and just general development channel. I think Adam would disagree with this, and I would love to at some point have a discussion with him about this in detail, because I think he has more experience being, I think, a formal Google engineer. But yeah, he has a formula that I don't think matches this, so we can expand upon that in the future, and that could change based on how the models change and how the use changes. It's smarter than you think. And this is, again, it's kind of the same point, is you're really managing intelligence. So there are times it is going to misinterpret instructions, but just keep going with your prompts. The better your prompt is, you're going to get better results. This is the one where I said, I would add Amazon Q to this stack here. I would also say use them all, because especially if you're trying to bring your costs down very low, and cost is a generic term, right? Because you're selling data. You're essentially giving away data to use these services. People misinterpret us also. Yeah. It's like you're managing intelligence. Don't treat it like Google. Treat it more like something you're trying to collaborate with, an intelligence you're managing and sort of curating to get the work done. But add Amazon Q to this stack. I've been getting great results with Amazon Q. I don't know enough about Gemini and Claude to know what free tiers look like, but I have used Copilot and ChatGPT free. I've yet to spend any money on any of these. I tend to have all of them and jump around. ChatGPT is just, like I said, he says here, the Kleenex of AI chatbots, or the Nike shoe of chatbots, right? So yeah, I say use them all. And any examples where we go hands-on with this, I'll use ChatGPT just because, it's the ubiquitous chat agent that everyone recognizes, and it tends to work. So generate bugs. This is one we did where, and we'll do another example of this quickly. So let's get ChatGPT going. Okay. We'll get ChatGPT. We hit the run button on ChatGPT, brother. ChatGPT's running. And I think one thing before, don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. Just start trying. Like, no one's going to judge you. Fight the sensation that you might be adding to a problem, because I think there's an inevitability to this that just needs to be accepted so you can move forward and accelerate what you're doing using these tools, because they're more and more ubiquitous. So I want to encourage you, if you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know, just play with these tools. Be smart about them. Opt out. And there's a security section here that we'll go through too that Jason wrote. But just be smart. If you have the option to opt out, opt out. Just be intelligent about it and understand that they're training new models likely with the data. Onion says, I'm in a weird mental state with AI. I just like how we got here. Yeah, me too. But I'm interested in the technology. Same. Like the moral implications of just like all the data theft that happens. Like we've already heard stories about Facebook, and I guess Llama, we could put Llama in that bucket back when we're looking at the models. Just use everything. Like use everything you can. As long as you're being smart about it. Be smart about your data and your sensitive things. But I'm the same, like the amount of data theft that happened to get where we are. And if anyone that gives like even a smallest care about the planet realize the footprint, like the we won't even talk about carbon footprint, but like the not wasted. So just the amount of resources and that had to be used to get here. This like weird race. If you listen to Max Tegmark, he'll talk about Moloch. I worry about stuff like that too. I'm always, it's like I'm the same. Like I'm gonna accept the technology as what it is, but always have that thing in the back of my mind. It comes with the territory of being in risk averse software. Like in software testing, as a tester, you want to be you're sort of always mindful of risks, and it's here to stay. Right, Onion. I mean, you can sit in denial and be a Luddite, and that's fine. I just worry then, this is the chance. Like, this is what Jason said in his article. Like, this might be your last chance to really get ahead and differentiate yourself. Because it's going to become so ubiquitous. It's just going to be a part of the standard. It's going to be like an IDE. Back when people, when we started having, like, I remember sitting at NetBeans or Eclipse or you name it, and just thinking like, well, this feels clunky, and it didn't feel as ubiquitous yet. I was still using like Notepad++ most of the time for web dev. And then before that, probably just a text editor in a couple of the classes I had. And then we would just compile like my C++ class and things like that. But then like IDEs become more and more ubiquitous in the sense that they're so crucial to every part of what you do, or like source control. Think about Subversion and then moving to like Git. There's ubiquitous now. Like, people are like, you don't know how to use Git? Like, if you're a developer or someone technical in some sort of app or software deployment, and you don't know how to use Git in some way, shape, or form, even if it's a UI, you'd be like, what? I think it's going to be that way. For, like, you don't know how to prompt like a generative model that assists you with this task. How do you get anything done, right? Like, it's like the Back to the Future scene. Like, you use your hands? This is a baby's game. It's going to be somewhat similar. It's ubiquitous. But if you want, I tried to listen to both sides of the argument. I tried to listen to Doomers and EACs. I try to kind of stay balanced there, just because there's two. There's the meme about the two wolves inside you. I have two wolves. One's a Doomer and one's like an EAC, and they're constantly going at each other. And in the middle, it's like, accept that they're here and try to embrace them in the sense that, again, the ubiquitousness of it is you just have to accept it if you want to stay in technology. I don't know. I don't have a better answer for people that are just like, no, they just want to resist it. It's like, I feel like you really just have to decide to be okay with it and do the best you can and learn as much as you can and try to be successful as much as you can with it. So I got a gnat in here. So one of the things, as testers, our goal is to find and document bugs. We went over this Wednesday. AI makes this incredibly simple. Yes and no. Again, depending on how much data you want to share. Take a screenshot, capture anything, web page, text document, product requirements, or even network traffic. Upload and prompt. Ask the AI, check this screenshot for any bugs. If there are any, please list them. If not, do not list any. And this is sort of brilliant. This just shows Jason's insight into generative AI. I didn't think about this. Is this idea that if you don't tell it, if not, don't list any, it will make stuff up. That's where hallucinations will start to come in. It'll start to go like, oh, well, I'm supposed to, again, imagine this budding alien intelligence that was grown on data off the internet. You ask it something like this, it's like, well, really my objective here or my function is to give them bugs, right? Or they might be like, well, let me make some up if you're not more explicit or clear about what your goal is. And he puts this as, as a tester, always include the option for the AI to return no issues in your prompt. This helps ensure the AI doesn't hallucinate or invent problems where none exist, leading to more accurate and reliable results. Yep. The AI will try its best to find the bugs, but it's up to you to review them. Right. You are the oracle. And decide which ones might be interesting or useful. Who can argue with the quick free bugs that you can, with quick free bugs you can take credit for. In this case, AI identified several issues. We don't know what page you showed it, but we'll do the same thing. We tried Twitch the other day and didn't get good results. So we try, what site's wacky, is Amazon. So let's see. We'll give it a screenshot of this page. So most of you have some sort of screenshotting tool on your computer. I am on Pop! OS. So I've got something built in Macs. I have something built in Windows. Grab Snagit or something like that. So we're going to add a photo. We're going to give that a screenshot. We'll give it the Amazon page. And we'll borrow Jason's prompt here. And that's the other thing I would suggest. Find a way. I use a .md file. I use it like a .md file for everything. If you find out, I just I'm obsessed with like Obsidian and Markdown files. Create a MD file or whatever you like of all the most successful. Yes, .md files are the best. My wife ever leaves me, I'm going to marry my .md file. I use .md files for like documentation. I use it for test cases, test case management, because you can publish. It's like before I've been like, I'm going to write a React app or some web pages that hold this data. It's like, no, .md files, put them in a repo, even if it's private, and you can publish them places, and then they're searchable and taggable. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can get this latency off the webcam really quick again, because it seems so bad. Are you going to behave now? That seems better. I need a new webcam. Curse you, Logitech. Logitech. You used to be the best in the market. So yeah, create a .md file and put all your like most successful prompts in it, or even keep track of prompts that didn't work. And you can start to formulate what works and what doesn't. I wouldn't just continue to blindly prompt. I would keep track of like, this prompt worked really well every time. This prompt did not work really well. So, or again, something I would do is like leave myself notes. Like, hey, whenever you, for example, here where Jason said, include the option for AI to return no issues. That's something I'd put in my .md notes on prompting. And then it's a searchable thing. You can go search for, like, oh gosh, why, you know, and kind of the understanding of why. And the reason I like to do things like that is because there's lots of literature on this. You are a smart person. What is in the picture? Yeah, I love, there's, gosh, what's his name? He's that, is it people, was it, developers are people too? He has that one where he's trying to prompt, he's like threatening to send the generative AI to jail. He's like, generate this class for this game or you go to jail. Imagine you are a very smart person. What is in this picture? Right. Oh boy. Okay. So I lost track. We're gonna ask ChatGPT to see if there's any bugs on this page. But that okay, so about notes really quick. So if you don't already take notes, get something like Obsidian, Evernote, Notepad. Have some place to take the stuff that's in here and put it somewhere else. There's lots of great studies and books about how much cognitive increase you can get there, where you can take this stuff, say, I don't have to think about this anymore. Like, this knowledge goes here. Now I have new space up here. What limited space I have, it helps me to have it's called your second brain. You should have a second brain. And with Obsidian, I can put it in a Git repo, a private Git repo, and back it up. I can publish it and create versions. I mean, again, not to keep tooting the horn of, let's zoom this because this is text for ants. But having a .md file just gives your notes that kind of, it's less ephemeral. It's more like, here, I have these things. It's formatted a specific way. That formatting is essentially code or markup driven, obviously because it's markup. Anyways, yeah, I highly suggest, if you don't already, get a second brain. Find some place to put the stuff that's in your brain. Don't assume you can remember everything. And if you want to do a physical notebook, by all means, do a physical notebook. But I just like digital because searchable, taggable. I could put hyperlinks in it, right? Like, just so helpful. Like, where did I find this out? Well, here's the link. Hopefully it still exists, but now at least the summary is in my notes of what was in this link. Oh, I'm so hungry right now. Okay, yeah, so let's run this. We're giving ChatGPT as an example, trying to of finding bugs. Check this screenshot for any bugs. If there are any, please list them. If not, don't list any. It could be as simple as this. Right? Give it a screenshot of a web page you're working on. It says the screenshot of Amazon homepage appears to be rendering correctly. There are no visible UI bugs or functionality issues in the captured image. Key checks. All layout elements, navigation bar, carousels, product sections, and ads are aligned properly. Text is legible. Images are loading without broken links. Interactive elements like buttons are visible and seen properly. No bugs found in this screenshot. Nice. So we didn't get any bugs. We could try to find a buggier page. What's a buggy page we could purposely give to try to show an example? Need a buggy page, y'all. Yeah, I need like a. Let's see. So you have to download the app. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. The location showed up on the top left on Amazon. Do you know if you care? But just wanted to mention. Oh gosh, did it? Oh gosh, it did. I've been doxxed. Thank you. I don't even know how to keep myself safe online. I mean, people can go to like my LinkedIn page, but yeah, thank you. I need to be smarter about that. I need to be smart. Hey, we're just trying to find like a buggy page. What is this? Just give me a buggy page. Oh, this page just makes my eyes burn. Let's see. Can we find... is this actually a buggy page? Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't want to seek knowledge. I want a page that is buggy. We'll pass this. I mean, I've used it before and I've gotten it to generate bugs for me. And Jason's clearly got it to work. And we'll belabor this too long. Generate tests. So, key responsibility of test engineers is creating tests. And AI can definitely help us with this. Yes, it can. Especially the latest models, which are smarter and capable. I don't know if I'd use the word smarter. Smarter. But tomatoes. Processing images and large amounts of data. Let's generate a test case for the Google homepage. We won't. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab a screenshot of a web page. And we're going to ask Google to write some tests for it. So, what should we give it? Let's get a new egg. Yeah. So again, we're going to take a screenshot of this page. Then we're going to go here. Again, we'll borrow his prompt. Please generate test cases for this web page. We'll borrow his prompt, copy pasta. Fussy testing Google. I think he just used Google as an example. I'm losing my voice. We'll grab the screenshot again. This new one. And please generate test cases for this web page. Now, we're being really... This is a good example of being vague. I didn't tell it the format of the test cases. You could be more explicit. And in fact, I think you could load like a rules file or a template of your test cases as any format, .csv or whatever, and it would follow that format if you gave it the file as well. I've done that for code reviews, for Gen AI assisted code reviews. I keep plugging this GitHub repo. But this is an example of that as well. Let's see, AI assisted code review Playwright. You can go to this repository. Hopefully you can see the link there. I can post it in chat as well if someone's interested. Boom. We'll put it into one place instead of 10 places. But github.com. My name is Mark Myers, also known as Boomer Tester. AI assisted CR Playwright. In this case, we have a .md file. That's our code standards file. You can write your own based on whatever your standards are, and that's what I did here. And you can give this to Amazon Q or Copilot and have it statically review code. Make sure you opt out. So this is a good example of that. If you can give a rules file without having to like, basically I'm trying to say you don't have to like bake all your rules into your prompt. You can just have your rules be in a separate file and feed that file to the generative AI along with your code. And again, opt out. unless you want to train the new models on your code. Opt out of giving them your data. And do it statically. I don't know if I would put that stuff in my pipeline necessarily, but you can do this statically in VS Code using the IDE, using the add-ons. And if you go through the README walks you through step by step. So if you're uncertain or you're very, very green, you should be able to do this. And I think your mind will be blown. Personally, I suggest Amazon Q. I got the best results there, but if Copilot is your flavor of ice cream that you like, I've got directions for Copilot because they work a little differently. The IDE add-ons work a little differently in VS Code, and you will have to use VS Code if you don't have it. There may be a way to use other IDEs. Just VS Code is free, easy to get a hold of. It runs on everything. It's becoming like the doom of IDEs. I think people are getting it to run on like, their refrigerator. But each of them works a little differently in regards to how you give the generative AI assistant context into what you're doing. So that's why there's different directions. Like for Amazon Q, you have to give it access to that file. And you don't want to paste in, if I remember, do not copy and paste, at least with Amazon Q, because you need it when you do the @ symbol, the context will come up and you'll need to click it. Where I think Copilot did a better job because Copilot had context based on what files you had open. So again, one isn't necessarily better or worse. I think the Amazon Q seems to work a little better. That can change. Jason talks about that in his article as well. So we're going to have it. We're going to stop digressing. We're going to have ChatGPT generate some tests for us. We're being vague. We could be more specific. Give it a CSV of here's a CSV of my format for test cases. Follow this and generate tests for this page, right? Or here, we're letting it fly fast and loose. I love at the bottom, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Here are several UI-focused and functional test cases based on the screenshot of the Newegg website, focused on server and components menu and the promotion section. So it gives you a test ID. That's kind of nice. It gives you a title. Verify the mega menu under server components displays correctly. Users on the homepage and menus expands preconditions, and you got your test steps and expected results. These are solid, right? Submenus should display all categories without clipping or overlapping. I like the verbiage there of the should. I'm always a big fan of like that BDD style, which, by the way, Dave Farley has a BDD video we're definitely going to watch on stream, not today. Because I'm a BDD antagonist, but I am willing to be won over. And then you will see they've got several other test cases here. Verify countdown timer, functional and shell shocker. Test search input functionality. So they're searching for a Ryzen 5 9600. Sweet. And then let me know if you like these exported in .md. Yeah. Are you listening to me? ChatGPT knows what I want. I want .md files. CSV or test management tool format like TestRail or Zephyr. Very nice. So we could request it to generate these in a way that we could immediately import them into our tool of choice. And again, this is where it feels like, I talked about this on Wednesday. It feels like being in school and all like your easiest, most menial things are like somewhat automated out. You just have to check. It's like somebody in class. I know, it's just plain dumb. It's just plain dumb. It's like you're having massive deja vu. But it's this idea that like somebody in class is giving you the answers. You just have to check the answers. That's what it feels like. You got another kid in class who's like just handing you the answers to the like all the menial day-to-day work. And you just have to go, let me just make sure and just kind of briefly, okay, these all look good. And just you turn in your paper after you, it's like the Biff and McFly thing in Back to the Future. You're just putting it in your own handwriting in your own style. Just think, McFly, think. You don't want to turn in your homework in McFly's handwriting, or else you'll get kicked out of school. We wouldn't want that, will we, Biff? So I'll give it a thumbs up. Good doggy. We could ask it to generate a test rails file, a Zephyr file, X-Ray. You name your add-ons, test case management tools. I prefer .md because I'm one of those. I'm one of those degens. So yeah, it's a great way to get it to write test cases, and you can be, in this case, you can be more prescriptive. Hey, you write your own format for test cases. Same with the defects. I actually think that was an acceptable defects. Well, we didn't see it. It didn't find any. Amazon's page is too good. Faster than you could have typed. Yeah, I think the thing too is you may write additional test cases. Those test cases may spark something, or you may go and modify all of them because they don't fit your style or they don't meet the requirements of your org in regards to tests. But then that teaches you to be more prescriptive, to just like if you were managing someone. Hey, I want you to write all your test cases in this format from now on. This is our standard in the org or in the QA team. So you learn to be more descriptive and more prescriptive and explicit. You might be thinking I could have come up with these myself. Well, yes, but remember, we only asked a simple question. Now let's take a step further and ask the AI to generate tests that testers may have missed but are still useful. So this one's really wacky in a cool way. Create some test cases that might find important bugs that even the most experienced of software testers might forget to create. For each test, explain why testers might miss it and why it's important. So we will do our own version of that prompt. I'm trying to be as close to what Jason's doing here too. So create some test cases. I was just phrasing that even the most testers may miss. Is that kind of phrasing? Might forget to create. And then we're asking for the explanation. This is where something talked on Wednesday. This can be a learning tool as well. I ask generative AI, like, how does this code work? If I don't understand it, I'll often ask it to teach me. Or there's like a certain concept in it, like a particular algorithm it used or whatever. I'll try to have it, or just design pattern. I'll be like, remind me of why this design pattern is the best. For each test, explain why testers might miss. Okay. For each test, explain why testers may miss it and why it's important. Let's see what we get. Here are advanced and often overlooked test cases for the Newegg web app as seen in your screenshot, along with explanations for why they're typically missed and why they matter. Again, this is a really great opportunity for you to learn. You've got a built-in, and I know I've got some screen tearing going on because I'm on Linux. I do this to myself. So let's see. Validate navigation menu keyboard accessibility. Why it's missed. Experienced testers often rely on mouse interaction for speed, unintentionally skipping keyboard-only navigation scenarios. That is true. That's an accessibility thing that we often don't think about. Users with accessibility needs depend on full keyboard navigation. If you can't reach drop-downs or submenus with tab, enter, or arrow keys, it's a WCAG violation. As steps, press tab repeatedly from the top of the page. Attempt to navigate the menu and server components drop-down using only tab and arrow keys and enter. Each menu and sub-menu item should be reachable and operable using keyboard 1. Yeah, this is really great insight. Accessibility, if it's not something important to your org or to you, from your experience, it's something easy to miss. Even if you're trying to include accessibility, you're not going to think of everything. And having an additional help here to remind you is really valuable, I think. Validate promo countdown timers sync across sessions. Interesting. Timers are assumed to run correctly in visible session. Few testers verify how they behave after refresh on multiple tabs. Why it's important, promo countdown timers can create false urgency if not synchronized properly, leading to users' distrust or legal implications. Ooh. There may be a better way to do this, though, like through the API, but it's still bringing up the idea. And this is something I don't think I would have thought of. Open the homepage, at least at first glance. Maybe if I worked for Newegg and it was really important. But this is really insightful again. So it gives us the test case, it gives us the expected results, and using the should phrasing, which I am a big fan of. We're saying this should do something. It makes it really clear what we're expecting and what we're starting on. Here's another one. Verified dynamic pricing element reacts to region location change. Ooh, that's a big one. Yeah, this is wow. This is kind of blowing my mind right now. Maybe I should quit my job now. Again, it's this idea. It's like this is an acceleration. It's acceleration and it's a learning opportunity. You should grow. You should grow alongside your use of generative AI if you're using it the right way. Yeah, I mean, and there's ways to sort of mock out location, at least through Chrome. Most Chromium-based browsers, you could say, I'm in New York, I'm in this zip code. Because I had to do this testing before for a particular, it was a time zone thing. I had to be in certain time zones and make sure the app acted a certain way. But yeah, in this case, like making sure you get the right tax information and calculation, their correct pricing, like being geosensitive. Am I seeing, if I spoof that I'm in like Taiwan, am I getting the correct currency shown to me? The correct pricing? That'd be a pain to validate, but someone's got to do it. Probably, I would hope, be automated. Validate lazy loaded images have alt tags. Yeah, that's a good one. Validate price strike-through accuracy against original price history. Price validation is often limited, checking that strike-through is present, not whether it's factually accurate. Misleading discounted prices may violate consumers. So there's a lot of like UX stuff, like the experience of the user should be good, and we should be thinking about risk. This is like a risk-averse analysis here, which I think is great. Validate group buy timer behavior on network loss and reconnect. Edge case involving network conditions. These are often assumed to be handled by the front end. Incorrect handling may result in expired deals appearing active, creating a broken user experience. Okay, so yeah, you could toggle your Wi-Fi, or there's ways to throttle yourself as well through most Chromium browsers. Oh, these are all really good. Wow, my mind's kind of blown. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't drop the link for this article that Jason wrote. Zibadoo. There you go. So jarbon.medium.com or you just want to look at Jason's other articles, but it's AI quick start for testers. Unfortunately, it's got this little hash thing at the end, but if you go to Jason's Medium page, I know he's trying to leave Medium actually, based on some posts he had recently. They're not being good to him. But yeah, you at least start there. But if you go, Jason does have presence on X, LinkedIn. What is it? Is it? Oh gosh, I hope I don't get the wrong page. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So Jason's page is there. You can also find Jason that way. If you're a skeptical tester or genuinely curious about the difference between your own thought process and the AI, stop here and ask yourself the same question. Then compare your results. Also remember to ask the AI to explain its reasoning. It's always a great way to gain more context. Yeah, and insight, especially for AI-driven testing tasks. I'm not going to come up with my own list, but yeah, I that was pretty prolific and eye-opening seeing the tests that it generated. That made me think differently. It gave me a new angle on that page that I wouldn't have thought of. And maybe some things, again, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have. It continues to enhance and cause you to be inquisitive. But it should enhance what you're doing. Let's ask AI again, this time specifically requesting explanations for its reasoning, which we did. We did that. And it gives you technical reasons about like the React framework. Okay, here are 2 of the 16 suggestions. Test scenarios target issues caused by interactions during page loading. The test cases are not only interesting, they also come with insightful technical reasoning about why these scenarios might cause problems before a page fully loads. Great testers might be thinking, wait a minute, the Google home page loads too quickly for me to even test these scenarios. Silly AI doesn't always account for the realities of the physical world. But when in doubt, let's ask AI for help, even if figuring out how to execute these tests effectively. Well, you could throttle yourself. But here, he's continuing the conversation. He's saying, well, these pages load too fast for me to even test the things that AI is suggesting. And so Jason, just like he would with anyone else, the Google web page loads very quickly. How can we possibly execute test 1 and 2? And then it teaches you how to simulate slow network conditions through network throttling, which you can do in Chrome DevTools. Yeah. Just when you think AI might be getting too creative, it surprises us with insights that many testers may not be familiar with. And guess what? These scenarios actually occur on slow networks. Wow. Of course, we can keep asking how and why as many times needed. Great testers will continue to prompt the AI, for more test cases, different types of tests, ways to verify functionality, and explanations for why the AI finds them interesting or useful. Again, learn. You should grow. Grow alongside these tools. It's not just a test case standard, it's a helpful partner. Enhances your testing suites and even educates us on the mechanics of executing different types of tests. You should become better at your craft. It's like having Jarvis with you, okay? Didn't know I could, Oh yeah, that's like an old hat for us tester boys. Tester boys, come out and play. For us testers, the throttling. I'm in Brave right now, but let me see, because I think it's Brave. Let's see. That's recording. I don't have a Chromium browser installed on this computer. Let's see. But there's some goofy stuff you can do with Chrome. Let's see. If I had I should have Chromium installed on this machine so I can demonstrate. Hey, what's up, Dark Arts Wizard? Yeah, that was a Warriors, come out and play. That's such a good movie. I remember watching that. I must have been in like grade school, probably in like my grandparents' house, sitting in front of a TV, and the movie kind of, it was probably like it's probably the TV version of it, but the whole thing just kind of blew my mind as a kid. I remember getting anxiety though. Just this idea. I have nightmares like that where you're trying to get somewhere, But very good to see you. We're just talking about how AI can be added to your tool chain, and Onion learned that you can throttle your network traffic in Chrome DevTools. Same experience, yeah. Like I love the movie, but there's certain movies that I always like dread watching because I get anxiety thinking about almost knowing the ending makes it even worse, weirdly enough. But then there's like my my comfort food movies, which for me, weirdly enough, is one of them's Predator, like original Predator. I've seen it so many times. And then the Colin Farrell, this is a weird one, but I don't know how it happened. I think it's because I saw it in college. Is the Colin Farrell SWAT movie. Every time we set up our surround sound, like our Blu-ray player or our DVD player, as my wife and I moved around, that was the movie I would like set up. And then obviously the opening heist scene from Dark Knight with Heath Ledger and Christian Bale. I had to run that, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch that scene. I promise, I'm just gonna watch that scene. I ended up watching the entire movie. Pre-children, of course. No, they have children. That's not a reality. There's no way they'd let me watch anything I want to watch for more than a few seconds, or be appropriate. But it is great to see you, Onion. If you don't know, the Dark Arts Wizard actually does live streaming as well. I would suggest. I don't know how to. Can I promote somebody here? But if you click on his profile, he actually does has a tool test. Is it? Please remind me what the. I've got streamer brain where you're doing a live stream and you can't remember. But let's see. Test rigger, thank you. Here we go. Watch this. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional streamer. I'm not really, but yeah. Go here, Dark Arts Wizard on Twitch. I don't know if you restream anywhere else, but please let people know. But you can go watch Paul. Hopefully this is the correct one. Okay, yeah. You can go watch Paul do demos, discuss testing and things like that. It's a great way. And I always promote Joe Calantonio. I already did. Because I think the testing guild is just so. YouTube as well and LinkedIn. Yeah, I've been toying with whether I want to pay monies to restream to LinkedIn. because I restream YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. But I've been really toying with the idea. Like, and same with X. Like, I don't want to spend the money on just like when I do this for funsies. It's not to generate business or anything. It's just I like having it. It keeps me sharp to have these discussions. Yeah, go check out Dark Arts Wizard. It's Paul. People know his name's Paul. I mean, that's public knowledge, right? I'm not doxing you. And go follow Paul on X. I think if you look up the Dark Arts Wizard on X or LinkedIn, I'm sure Paul wouldn't mind if you connected with him there. You never know. I just partially doxed my near location today on stream. Luckily, there's like maybe concurrent viewers, maybe 3, maybe 4 at most, so it's okay. And people came here from LinkedIn too, so people know who I am publicly. It's not much I can do. Good luck if you want to come bother me. Good luck getting up here where we live. We're up on a mountain. That's your clue. A mountain with fiber internet, weirdly enough. But what we've been talking about, Paul, or Dark Arts Wizard, is just showing some of the ways that you can use generative AI to really accelerate what you're doing. Something as simple as taking a screenshot of the app you're working on, asking ChatGPT or whatever your flavor of Gen AI is to generate test cases, generate bugs for you. And then the one that was really, honestly, even kind of opened my eyes, this was something that Jason suggested. So we are going through an article from Jason. I should be specific. Jason Arbon here's got a great article, AI Quick Start for Testers, over on his Medium page. Is, create some test cases for the same web app that even the most experienced testers might forget to create. For each test, explain why testers may miss it and why it's important. And the insight it gave us was very prolific, actually. I was even shocked at how prolific the insight was, and it made me look at that page in a different way. Yeah, definitely post your links. And I allow links, which I know is dangerous, but I totally allow links. But yeah, some of the insight was really prolific, and this is how it felt the first time I started to use Cursor while I was writing automated tests. It kind of felt like I was using Cursor and then kind of ChatGPT together, and it was really kind of blowing my mind how much more productive I was and the insight I was getting alongside of my own insight and capability and experience. I've been doing software testing for 13 years now, not as long as some, longer than others. And this idea that I was accelerated because I have this partner. Jason rated Candy Mapper a C-, which is spot on. Oh, he ran testers against your Candy Mapper. That's awesome. Yeah, my only gripe with Testers AI, and this is griping about something that's free right now, is that I had a really hard time getting it to run on Linux because I only use. You did it yourself? Nice. I only use either OS X because that's my work operating system, so I use Mac because that's what they give me at work, or I use Linux, Pop! OS, Ubuntu. My wife has a Windows machine upstairs. That's the only Windows machine in our household. Everything else is either running Ubuntu, Apple OS X, or for my stuff, Pop! OS. Like we don't. Well, and then all the other variants, like my kids' machines have like Ubuntu and Mint and stuff like that. But it was a little tricky getting it to work, so I hope he can improve that compatibility, because I had to like grab a very specific version of Ubuntu to get it to run. I had to run it in a VM. I tried Docker. I want to get it to run in Docker. I'm actually going to keep, probably in a future stream, tinker with that and get it to run in Docker just because, and then I want to like brag to Jason. I need to test it on my Mac. Linux is above my pay. I think you could do it. And ironically, serendipitously to this, I used ChatGPT to help me troubleshoot. I got really close. And actually, Onion was here on that stream. I got really close to running Testers AI in Docker, but it ended up just being good old-fashioned VM. I just had to grab an Ubuntu VM of the specific version they support, and it ran. But you're one version over or one version behind. It's a little. Again, that's complaining about something that's free, which feels bad. Busy a new gig, nice. Okay, so you ended up getting back in the saddle. That's awesome. I saw the other Paul, who also writes really good blog posts that I want to go through his latest on stream. But congratulations, that's awesome. But other Paul is in the same spot. But I know I've run into Paul a couple times at conferences. Yeah, Paul Grazaffi. That's the only bad thing about Paul. It's how hard it is to say his last name. It's kind of like Joe Calantonio. Like, you just need simple names. Like my name is really, my legal real names is really easy to say. I just call Paul G. And then there's Paul Merrill, who I've worked with before. So it's like all these Pauls in software testing. There's some sort of cabal or something. Cabal of Pauls. And I think Ferret left, not Ferret, Frightful left us many moons ago. Nation of Pauls. I like Cabal of Pauls a little better, but so yeah, this was stinking prolific. That was prolific, the insight it gave. And again, if you can get past the trepidation, I think you can really, really accelerate what you're doing. So Jason here talks about generate test automation. AI can assist with traditional test automation, but many automation engineers remain skeptical. I had some struggles and hallucinations while generating tests, but I think I was using Cursor at the time. And I also didn't know how to properly prompt. Now I think I would have better results if I tried this more. And I would definitely give it a .mdb file and say, here's my code standards for tests. Where before I was just kind of fast and loose, and it was hallucinating tests for features that didn't exist, yada yada. Jason says AI can fully handle all aspects of automation. Can't fully, yep. But it can accelerate your scripting work. Just like with developers, you can obfuscate, I think, tab development. This was something that Adam Learns Live was talking about, is he doesn't let generative AI generate stuff wholesale. He kind of tabs through and says, yeah, I would write the code generally this way. And he still does, it's very hybrid. It's like he's writing something simple, tab, okay, yep. He accepts the tab, and writing, tab, and he's kind of letting it starts to seem almost like learn how he writes code. And I'm hoping with a .md file, that's how test automation can be for me. I want to start leveraging this more. It's just hard to do where I work. I work contracts with the federal government. And so I can't use some of these things yet. So they say, let's start by asking AI to generate test code needed to automate a search execution on Google. So he does that here, and he was being really generic here and not explicit. You can be more explicit. And just like managing someone as a QA manager or manager in general, more context, more information, you're going to get better results. Garbage in, garbage out. So if you give, and not that this is garbage, but he gives pretty vague instructions. He says test automation code to execute a search on the Google homepage. And so it ends up giving Python and Selenium. But then, I could ask it, and it will do that. We'll ask it to generate code for a specific, we'll use, I tend to do TypeScript and Playwright. So we'll do that. Or we could do Cypress. I don't know. So it says, yes, the code is missing. Try catch logic. The AI is aware of this and generates code primarily for clarity and demonstration purposes. Yeah, don't forget that. This is not as production ready. You are still the Oracle, and you're still going to be the one that makes sure this stuff is good. So how did the AI find the element name using Q? Well, we can't know for sure. Yeah, there's sometimes where there's some creepy insight where it doesn't technically have access to the DOM. But let's try this really quick. Let's what page are we going to use here? We can use the Blaze, what is it? The Blaze demo. Oh my gosh, I can't write words. Yeah, we use this page. Wait, this isn't the one. Am I thinking of a different one? Demo Blaze. Todoy. Okay. So we'll go with the screenshot route again. Is that what he did? Generate test automation code to execute a search on the Google homepage. Maybe we'll just give it a link instead of a screenshot. Generate written in TypeScript for the anything. Let's not give it much more instruction. In this case, like if I were actually doing this, I would give it a .md file, which I have in my Git repo. Well, this is for Playwright and TypeScript. So I would probably create a Cypress .md file for it to give it a little nudge in the right direction, which that file is actually here. But I don't know if you know about this, Paul. If you want to toy around with AI-assisted code review, I have a repo here that you can check out. You could do AI-assisted code review completely for free. Just make sure you opt out if you're pointing at anything important. But I've got step-by-step directions here on how to get it running in VS Code using GitHub Copilot or Amazon Q free tier, using their IDE add-ons, getting a little assistance. And getting this to work kind of blew my mind, and like the insight that I got back has been really surprising. So you can go here, follow the README. I've got a code standards file. You can create your own. I use Markdown because I'm a Markdown stan, but definitely go check that out. So yeah, let's have it generate some tests and see what we get. These tests assume that you're using Cypress with TypeScript, set up with a tsconfig.json file. Make sure your project has the following set up. So again, here's an awesome thing. If you're new to test automation, it's going to give you a lot of guidance here. It's going to make sure you know, and you might say, I don't have NPM installed, and I'm pretty certain that the generative AI will kind of guide you like, hey, you need to go to these places, you need to have Node, and you need to have NPM installed to do these things. But here it's at least assuming that we have Node and NPM, tells us how to install it, tells us what to include in our tsconfig. It even gives us file structure, directory structure. We're getting spoiled. So yeah, you're using describe init blocks. Ah, sweet Cypress, my friend. I don't get to work with it anymore. It's like one of my favorite frameworks, but I'm a Playwright boy now for the time being, as the job dictates. So yeah, we've got this demo blaze it generates, and you can copy this and dump it in your IDE. If you're using VS Code or Cursor, you don't even have to copy pasta. I just wanted to show this in ChatGPT, that you can do this. And I love the phrasing. Should load the homepage and display product. Yes, please give me more and inject this descriptive, well-written test case names into my veins, please. So it's giving us a load of test cases. What? Naughty. Well, this would have violated one of our rules from our MD file. This looks like what would we say in our MD file here? Let's go to our rules. Let's see. Fixed weighting. Shame. If you had my rules file, you would have never done that. So this is why having a rules file is really helpful. I'll probably be writing one for Cypress soon just for people to use as an example. This is the Playwright one, but still, I think this is under the general test automation standards. So I could feed this probably into ChatGPT or Amazon Q or Copilot and say, hey, don't use fixed weighting, hook into app state. There's probably a way to wait for that thing. Because don't use fixed weighting, people. If you this is like a religious debate. But don't use fixed weighting. But it's okay. As Jason said, this is really primarily a learning tool. This is not production ready, right? But it gave us something to start with. Let's look at the rest of these. And this is cool. It teaches us how to handle window alerts in Cypress. Those locators seem solid. And you know what's disturbing? Dimes to donuts. If I paste this into a project and run them, I bet you they'd all run fine. I've seen so many times where it'll generate a bunch of tests like this and I'll run them and maybe like 1 or 2 fails, but generally again, Jason was saying, a lot of these tests are pretty straightforward. But here, you have code to start with. And I know with Playwright, you can use the code generation tool. I just want to show an example. It's actually writing the test cases though for us. Like there could be a novelty here that we didn't think of. This is pretty straightforward. Should navigate to cart with verify item added. It looks like it's following a range act assert. Yeah, it's doing your should. So you should expect to conclude. Okay, so it's generally following, I think. Yeah, should. Okay. Anyways, make sure base URL is configured, optional but helpful. And so that's also a great practice to do. It's showing you to configure your environmental data. You can simplify site visit instead of repeating the full URL. Very insightful for someone who's not aware of that, right? Someone new or someone who's just not as familiar with best practices and things. Log in with a real user. Check out process simulation, API validation, intercepting cart AJAX calls. Yep. Device viewport test, mobile versus desktop. Let me just give you a thumbs up. Good doggy. Yeah, AI will make assumptions. So in Jason's case here, it assumed he was using Selenium and Python. If you're not explicit and descriptive, it's going to try to do its best, just like anyone else you're managing. You're managing some intelligence here. Don't forget that. It's not Google. This is not Google. This is a neural network. And you're managing that intelligence. You're trying to give it proper context. So, as I said before, create an MD file or whatever. I prefer MD files. You can do Obsidian if you don't want to manually manage MD files. Obsidian will manage it for you. And put all your best prompts or put your worst prompts or make notes. I noticed this about prompts with this model. I should stop doing that. And so I'm going to take a note. Stop doing this or start doing this more. Be more explicit. Be less explicit. Whatever. Experiment. This is just like anything. You're playing with Selenium. Oh, Selenium has this weird quirk with the WebDriver weights. Let me make a note for myself because I don't want to keep it in here, because if I keep it in here, it could fall out. Keep your own second brain, people. The code. Okay, we already talked about that. Yeah, we can have it. Please leverage the page object model library. Oh, he's pointing at. Okay, yeah. So it didn't use the page object model for any of the libraries we typically rely on for setup cleanup. To address this, you'll need to share that information with the AI and happily incorporate your existing asset. In fact, the AI recognized that the POM was missing search functionality and extended it. Pretty cool. So he feeds it a pom.py file, and it actually extended his code. It updated the test script to use the new page object model. Yeah, I've done this before, and it's pretty prolific when you've done this yourself a million times to have the mostly, again with your hallucinations, mostly correct code generated. The AI not only leveraged our POM, but also it extended it to be more useful in other automation scripts. If we want the code to be production ready and avoid flakiness or false negatives, we simply ask the AI to make it so. It was very Star Trek. Apologies, I gotta blow my nose. Oh gosh. Everything's falling apart. Let me mute myself so you don't have to hear me blow my nose. Okay. Allergies. Here's a great hack. Ask AI to generate robust and verbose code. This approach is perfect for test code. It makes scripts less likely to break and ensure that when they do, it's easy to understand and what code was trying to do and what actually happened. So this is something I would put in those notes about prompts. I would say this prompt works well with test code. And it's a nice reminder. I can go and look at my guide. You create a guide for yourself on how to prompt. And maybe it only works with certain models. You have to use different phrasing. It's kind of, again, it's a part of Selenium doesn't work the same as Cypress, and Cypress doesn't work the same as Playwright. There's going to be quirks. So just like with anything, find out what the quirks are, find out what works, and keep using it. You can see AI has added a lot of useful logging, try-catch blocks. This code is likely more robust and verbose than some of the code you've written recently. Go ahead. Check for yourself if you're feeling brave. Yep. And if you don't understand anything it generated, highlight a section, paste it into ChatGPT, or if you're using Cursor or whatever, ask it to explain that code to you. Ask it to have links and reference. Where did you, but only a human tester knows the specifications, right? Or the test plan. Simply attach them to the prompt. Yep. So again, just like that MD file, give it the test plan file. You wouldn't ask if you had a test plan and you had employees who were writing tests for you. You're a manager. You wouldn't I'm not going to give them the test plan. I'm going to let them suffer. You would give them the test plan. This is where you have to be careful. Be smart. You might be giving out your test plan as training data, right? I am running out of time, and we're still not done with this article. We're like almost halfway, so we'll continue this on Monday, likely. But yeah, unfortunately, I do have to go. Day job calls, and I had to start this stream late because of baby, the little 11-month-old baby, the wee baby. But let's go over here. I appreciate all of you. I will be back on Monday. I should double check. I should look at my calendar. I've been having, I'm thinking about simplifying my hours again for streaming. Just double checking my calendar for Monday. Make sure I'm going to be back. Yes, I should be back on Monday, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, or whatever your time zone is. I should do UTC. But convert to your time zone. I will be back on Monday. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Oh man, best viewers. I want the worst viewers. But I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right now. Monday and Wednesdays, it's at this time slot. Obviously, I started late today because of baby. And then Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, which I believe would be 8 a.m. Central Time. I am on Eastern Time. Hint, hint. If you want to mine information about me for some bizarre reason, and finding out I'm on Eastern Time gives you some insight or way to harass me, then so be it. I'd rather people know what time I'm going to be here. But today started late. I had to wear our 11-month-old baby for my wife while she did homeschool, because she's homeschooling 2 boys now. So, yeah. But appreciate you. I'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll continue to have this discussion. I feel like there's a lot here. We're going to be watching Dave Farley's BDD video soon. Maybe he can convince me, because I'm such a BDD detractor. I wouldn't say detractor. I just never worked anywhere where it's actually succeeded, at least from a test automation strategy. Like, there's a weirdness to obfuscating out. Well, okay, I don't want to digress. We can talk about that, because I want to talk about the fact that you're like hiding code. It really screams to something that started even as early as the beginning of my career, like over 13 years ago, of like no code. And I think that stuff can work and it can be useful. It's just about the game, the PR game that gets played. Like, there's no code here. Well, there's code. You just don't own the code. And that's where things can get a little tricky. Okay. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it gets tricky, and that's why I've been a little skeptical of it. But if you want, go read Jason's article. Go check out the Dark Arts Wizard YouTube channel. There's more stuff there as well. And she posted the link. Go check out Automation Guild. Go check out Jason Arbon's blog post, or go connect with him on the social media platform of your choice. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend. Take care of yourself. Go outside, touch some grass unless you're allergic to grass. It's good for you. Good for you to go out in the sunshine. But I appreciate you. If you're watching this later, or you're watching this now, or because I'm time traveling then if you're watching it later. Technically, we're time traveling right now, because the moment that I start speaking, there's some latency between you and me, right? So we're technically time traveling right now. And then you chat, and I read the chat, and that thought left your brain probably a lot longer than maybe it was perceived by me. But anyways, relativity is interesting, right? Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys on Monday, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to keep going through this blog post, keep mining it for all the content we can, because I think it's actually worthwhile. I think it's worthwhile to toy around with these ideas, see the ways that you could really enhance and like level up and power up your testing efforts, and even just your development efforts or technical efforts. There's a lot of potential here. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you all on Monday.